3 homages. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami.
Good morning and welcome. So lovely to see all of you, some old friends and some new friends. So we're very pleased to see you. We will begin our service with chanting our Shoshinge. It's a pleasantly long poem written over 850 years ago by our lineage founder Shinran Shonin. In it is a teaching that extends deep, deep into the past, and we are responsible for extending these teachings into the future. So Shinran composes his insights in practicing Pure Land Buddhism from the 7 teachers, extending back to India, China, and Japan. So if you're new and you're interested in chanting this Shoshinge, it's in traditional Japanese, and you start at the top on the right-hand side. So we go right to left in vertical columns. You can try doing that, or you can sit and listen and just absorb all the good energy, or you can read the translation at the bottom. Everyone is encouraged to offer incense as we're chanting. We come up and we offer incense at our altar in gratitude to the infinite wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha, the universe, a dear teacher, but the point is it's in gratitude and you're giving a gift. We have 2 other altars in our Hondo, an altar of compassion to Kannon Bodhisattva. If a dear one needs some more compassion or has passed on, you can light a candle there. And we have the Medicine Buddha altar here, where if you or a dear one need a little more healing energy, you can direct that healing energy to them. So we are so happy to be together today to share the Dharma, and we just bask in this togetherness. Thank you. Naman Lops, Naman Lops. Shoshinge. Kimyo muryo junyorai. Namu fukashigi ko 法蔵菩薩因日財政自在大部省刀剣勝負浄土院国土人伝自然幕根ル無常首相願長法慶右大偶勢五行四唯四小十十世妙正文字法不法無量無変更無体無形ご縁の少女歓喜知恵子不断難知無所故超日が交渉人生一切群上無交渉本願名号少女語知心信行願人上等学書大涅槃非死滅道願成就如来所以公主世唯世弥陀本願会五辱悪事群上会法身如来両実言の法一年喜愛心不断煩悩特涅槃凡所逆法再永入如主死入海一味聖主信仰上昇後意の水波無明暗頓内心臓死運無上不信自信人天非尿に幸福運無運無資源妙無安逆心天教大教義即応超税後悪種一切全幕本部人門心如来偶税願仏言広大小芸者税人妙分打理家弥陀部本願念部邪見教魔なく修上信行十字人に願難中死難昔インド祭天子論芸中華人知一期思考祖現代諸公聖書意妙如来本税大き釈迦如来ヨガ戦一種五妙難天軸ルジュ大事出頭世出の財波有無権先世大乗無情法召喚議事昭和学賢治南行六六信行異行指導楽億年弥陀部本願自年即自入筆上唯の上昇如来語大大悲偶税音天神菩薩増論世奇妙無下光如来永主ただ謙信寺高専王朝大誓願こういう本願力栄光異道群上昇維新非入空独大崩壊筆脈入大永収集特使蓮華造世界即昇進用法昇進有本の人間人図入所自用自王芸本自動願両天使上高蘭書菩薩来三蔵ルシ十上教本書専業気楽法天神菩薩論中芸報道因果現世願方言栄光有他力少女死因唯信心惑前本部信心法承知生じ即涅槃 非死無量光明道、小雨修正回復系、同社継承道難症、有名浄土活入、万全自力変言中、円満特合感染症、三部三神慶音言、増魔法明道非因、異生増悪地偶税、死安妖怪称名派。全道独名武将位。法愛上作業逆悪、光明明語権理念、海流本願大智慧、行者小樹金剛心、狂気一年総合、用意大東逆三人、即小小四上楽、現進公開一大教、偏気安養可二祭、先祖終身安先人、法華二道小弁流、60悪人類小部、火薬剤非正集中、煩悩証言水不見、大非無見上昇が、本次元空妙仏教、連民全幕本部人、新宗教書後編集、戦弱本願具悪性、現代生じ臨伝芸、慶地義上位小子、即入弱上無意楽、七心地に納入、不教大事修士と、調裁無変極直悪、同族自主不動心、唯過心し、高祖聖。ナムアミダハブムアミダハブナムアミダハブナムアミダブナムアミダハブナム。弥陀成部のこの方は今に自己へたまえりほしのこうりえぬきわもなくせのもみょうを照らすなり。ナムアミダハブナムアミダハブナムア 下駄の降臨気はもなし、
国足かむるものはみいな有無を離ると述べたもおう平等確に奇妙せよ。ナムは阿弥陀仏。ナムは阿弥陀仏。ナムは阿弥陀仏。ナムアミダハブ。ナムアミダハブ。ナムアミダハブ。ナムアミダブナアムアミダアムナム少女光明並びなしルシコウのゆえなれば一切のご受けものぞこり入秘境へを奇妙せよ。願にしくどく平等正祭どうも大心お嬢はナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナナ It's now time to invite the children to go to Dharma School with Reverend Shelley and Aaron. We will sing them out with Let the Buddha Walk With You.
The Heart Sutra, the insight that brings us to the other shore. Thus have I heard. One time the Buddha was at Vulture Peak near Rajgir. He was teaching the larger sutra on the Pure Land of Amida Buddha, attended by many students and bodhisattvas. At that time, Kannon Bodhisattva was practicing deeply the insight that brings us to the other shore, and suddenly saw that everything is empty, and with this realization overcame all suffering and distress. And through the other power of the Buddha, Shariputra spoke to noble Kannon. Great being, if we want to train in the wisdom that leads to the other shore, how should we practice? Kannon replied, Listen, Shariputra, this body itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is this body. This body is not other than emptiness, nor is emptiness other than the body. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. Listen, Shariputra, all phenomena are emptiness. Their true nature is the nature of no birth, no death, no being, no non-being, no defilement, no purity, no increasing, no decreasing. That is why, in emptiness, the aggregates of body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness are not separate, self-existing things. The 6 sense organs, their objects, and their consciousnesses are also not separate, self-existing things. They exist together or not at all. Interdependent co-arising and its extinction are also not separate, self-existing things. The 4 noble truths, that life can be lived in abiding joy, that there is a cause when we do not live joyfully, when we remove that cause, joy returns, and the 8-fold path to living a joyful life, and really all insight and attainment are also not separate, self-existing entities. Whoever can see this no longer needs to attain anything. Bodhisattvas who practice the insight that brings us to the other shore, see no more obstacles in their mind. And because there are no more obstacles in their mind, they overcome all fear, destroy all wrong perceptions, realizing perfect nirvana. All Buddhas in the past, present, and future, by practicing the insight that brings us to the other shore, are capable of attaining perfect and complete enlightenment. Therefore, Shariputra, it should be known that the insight that brings us to the other shore is a great mantra, the most illuminating mantra, the highest mantra, a mantra beyond compare, the true wisdom that has the power to put an end to all kinds of suffering. This is the truth and not a lie. Therefore, let us proclaim the mantra to praise the insight that brings us to the other shore. Gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond, everyone gone to the other shore, enlightenment. Hoorah. We will now have a moment of meditation accompanied by traditional chanting of the Heart Sutra from Reverend Kanho Yakushiji.
Kanya Haramita Shingyo Let's
right there. Jim, if you could adjourn to the other seat, that would be helpful for those readings you will do later. Mother. Thank you. You could just use the chair, Jim. It'll be a while.
Okay, you go first.
What was that in Full Metal Jacket? The drill instructor says, "Thank you very much. Can I be in charge now?" Just kidding. So let's send this up. You know, I always feel after the reading and the meditation time that we're kind of done. I mean, I can't really say anything that's of any particular use. After that, it was wonderful sharing the sutra. So, but I know I am responsible to do that, and I will overcome the small fears that I have here, sitting here. Hello to everyone, and welcome to Reno Buddhist Center, both here and in that little box on the wall that seems to be beaming us to the rest of the world. 3 things before I start. First, we are most grateful to everyone who has supported our temple for all these many years. Donations have started rolling in for our new meditation hall project, and I'm just gesturing toward the poster over there, but I'm very subtle about it. We need to keep the generosity flowing. It's been a little slow at first, but we can get the word out, you know, tell all your friends. That would be helpful. Now, you all have made this a welcoming and vibrant Sangha. If you've been coming for a long time, thank you so much. And thank you to our new friends who summoned the courage and the openness to come through the temple doors for the first time. Wherever your spiritual quest takes you, we are always here for you. Any aid we can give you on your journey will be offered freely. So now to the Heart Sutra. Shariputra asked Kannon this wonderful question: how can we practice the insight that leads to the other shore? The other shore is enlightenment, just in case that's not clear. When we listen to the Heart Sutra, it sounds, hello Michael, welcome. Okay. So when we listen to the Heart Sutra, it sounds like a logical, sequential explanation. Kannon Bodhisattva says to Shariputra in answer to his question. He explains the way things really are. Something, when we listen to it or we chant it in English, our mind thinks philosophically or intellectually, trying to understand, unpack, kind of dissect the sutra, figure out, well, what is he really saying? But really, the whole sutra is more like a mantra. And that's what Kannon says at the end. He says it's a mantra. So it works on you by harmonizing or reharmonizing your experience of yourself with reality. It can get into your bones, mostly when you chant it. We have chanted it for many years, and often with no explanation. A year or two will go by, and we'll just chant it from time to time. And then it's sinking in when we do that. As with most of our chants, the chanting is probably a truer message of what the Heart Sutra is than the philosophical talking about it stuff. It's good to study it, but it is much better to feel it in our bones. More as Dharma poetry, as something that resonates with the experience of living. Kannon, who's mercifully backing me up here, tells Shariputra all about emptiness. as the reality of our lives. The meaning of this word, shunyata, or emptiness, is clouded. It means that everything in the world, objects, people, thoughts, feelings, planets, space itself, is empty of its own separate being, which means it is empty of separate, fixed, independent existence. When we say that something is empty, it is not to say that it does not exist, though often it seems to be misunderstood that way, and I'm sorry about that. I am happy to report that things do exist, but not in the way you think. Everything is empty of separateness, fixedness, and independence. So everything is completely connected, fluid, and interdependent. Everything depends on everything else. Everything is interdependently co-arising in every moment. Nothing can be removed or separated out of the fabric of being because everything is an interdependent web. We sentient beings are also empty of separateness. We lack self-existence. Now, here's a thought puzzle for you. How many parents do you have? Many of you thought 2. Some of you thought of 3 people or 4 people. I think under close examination, the answer is numberless. Many, 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 many parents. The sun, the sea, the stars are also our parents. Essential causes, and they are essential causes and conditions that led to our existence. We don't easily see this, but we are part of that emptiness. This is really great. It's a joy to hear. You are empty of your own being, and that takes the pressure off of you. You don't need to feel alone anymore. You don't need to carry that weight, the responsibility of your life, what feels like the weight of the world on our shoulders. We all feel a crushing weight of responsibility to be the person we are. The good news is that we don't have to worry about it. We are not that kind of separate personage, really. It's just a story that we tell ourselves, or maybe the other way around. It's a story the self tells anyone who will listen about us. We don't and can't have that kind of responsibility. The other side of the leaf is the pressure is really on here, okay? Because all your actions, thoughts, feelings, are everywhere interconnected and cannot be removed from being. This means everything matters. Your every action is consequential. They have karmic consequences across the interconnected network of vast universe. Every thought and feeling, even if we don't think they're important, matters in creating the world moment. From this moment to the next. We are participants in the world, and that comes with some pressure to perform. We need to work toward the good, skillful, compassionate, and wise, toward that side of things. We are not off in our own private Idaho, as some might lead you to think. Maybe that pressure is not so bad when we recognize that we are interdependently interbeing with all the other beings. It's not on us alone. There can be no you alone. That's impossible. Kanon experiences great joy in belonging to the world at the beginning of the sutra, belonging to everything. We have lots of helpers, and we're never apart from them. This word emptiness doesn't seem to fit with what I'm talking about. And it hasn't been easy for a long time. Thousands of years, Buddhist teachers have been struggling with this word emptiness. When the wonderful translator Kumarajiva translated the Heart Sutra from Sanskrit to Chinese in about the year 600 something of the Common Era, he had the same problem. He'd grown up in Buddhist monasteries with his mom, who was a nun, so he had an advantage. He'd grown up understanding Sanskrit, and Gandhari probably was the language that most of the sutras were discussed in at that time. And then he got captured by a Chinese warlord in this little city-state along the Silk Road, and he was under house arrest for 10 years. So he got to learn how to speak Chinese. And he could combine those things to our great benefit, because otherwise how would we know what was in the sutras, because they went from India to China to Japan to here. So, he could see deeply into the sutra. And he used a wonderful character when he translated so Sanskrit and Gandhari are alphabetic languages like ours, or writing. So it's you write a word, you put some sounds together, you know what the word is. But Chinese is pictographic. So that was another big gigantic gulf. So what do you do for emptiness? He picked sky, which is really great. He used this wonderful character sky in his Chinese rendering of the sutra. So think about it. When you're reading or chanting the Heart Sutra in Chinese, you have that image of sky, the word sky. This has a very poetic quality, because as you chant, you are repeating over and over the word sky. Everything is sky. The whole world is sky. Thoughts, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, all sky. This is a word that is not nailed down, heavy, or stationary. The whole world is sky, says Bodhisattva to Shariputra. Vast, clear, transparent, open sky. So maybe we forget the word emptiness and think sky life and sky world. All our troubles are sky troubles. And that opens things up. It does, a lot. So, now we would like to share with you a more poetry-like Heart Sutra rendering in English, in the style that I was trying to channel the Zen priest Brad Warner. He's the one who wrote Don't Be a Jerk and Sit Down and Shut Up, important Buddhist books. And Jimmy G will offer that with Will's bongo accompaniment.
So this is a modern beatnik. He is Beat, and I'm Nick today. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. You know what I'm saying? Everything is like sky. That means no permanent, unchanging essence to anything. It's all sky, man. Feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. They're all sky too. All 5 skandhas, just sky, dude. No suffering, no cause of suffering, no end of suffering, no path, baby. The 4 noble truths, they're all just sky too. Don't get hung up trying or achieving some special state of mind. No enlightenment, you read me? So if there's no form, no feeling, no perception, no mental formations, no consciousness, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no end of suffering, and no path, then there's no attainment, baby. Because there's nothing to attain, and that's totally cool. So just chill out. Let's all chill and dig the sky, man. Heart Sutra. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. You can just sit for the,
Okay.
my mic's still on here. Okay. That felt different, didn't it? It did. It felt different. Yeah. It's like you take this dusty scroll out of this ancient Dharma library in Kyoto and wow, it's alive. This helps us look at our nature differently. Now, the Buddha was fundamentally concerned with this one question: how can people live joyful lives? He shows us how we can see through suffering. And he realized the most obvious thing: we cause our own suffering. Not the world, not them. For example, if my car breaks down or I lose my special ring, then there is no inherent problem if we take my out of the sentence. Maybe you can't do anything about the ring, but you can do something about you. The Buddha does not worry so much about the conditions in the world that cause us frequent pain. They're just there. Where he focuses is the imagined person, that identity that causes suffering, the painful events. Events are not inherently good or bad. What matters is how we feel about them or how we feel them. So, since we can't fix the world or control what's going to happen, I know that's a big surprise, but okay. Since we can't control those things, we can look more deeply at ourself. This is where the sutra goes. The Buddha saw that the problem is that we are all deeply conditioned to believe that we have a self that is fixed, separate, and independent. This is a self that, by its very nature, is extremely vulnerable. It's very lonely. The Buddha offers a great natural way where a person can train themselves to see self in another way. He taught us to recognize these 5 skandhas, these 5 changeful constituents of ourself, as a more accurate alternative to fixed identity, separate self. The Buddha said that instead of having the attitude, I like it equals good, I don't like it equals bad, we can be more intimate with our experience. We can look at how we experience life, deeply reflect on it. What is physical? What feelings arise? Look at our reactions to experience. Look at our perceptions, the mental constructs that color how we see things. And then we can look at the sky-like awareness canvas where all these things are taking place. Through self-reflection, we train our kokoro, our heart-mind, to look at experience without fixating on self as separate and independent. And if we do that, we will have less suffering. That is a realistic view. This is really the truth. It's not a lie. That is what the Bodhisattva saw in the sutra. Kannon Bodhisattva was inspired by compassion. Start with compassion as fundamental principle. You can see that if you begin with compassion and love, you eventually realize that the whole world is connected. One thing, flowing freely in and out with different patterns. If we start from compassion, we're going to find our way to emptiness, a vast sky, the multidimensional canvas where reality occurs. On the surface, the Heart Sutra does seem pretty analytical. No eyes, no nose, no ears, bits and pieces, right? All that. It actually works, though, actually offers us a whole map of Buddhist psychology. But really, it is enthusiastic, evocative, and poetic. It is the poetry of sky mind. Understand the sutra like this, and it makes sense that the whole thing is a mantra that leads us to the middle way. The middle way is an ancient Buddhist teaching we can describe as effortless action. It means to be in accord with the flow of life, doing as we are given without pushing or pulling against the nature of things. It is a way to carry out our life duties gracefully, a middle way. Some people talk about this as the so-called flow state, or if you're in the zone. Normally, we try to control what is intrinsically uncontrollable. We often fail. Then what do? We try doing the same thing harder and louder or faster, thinking that we just need to apply more force to the world and the outcome will be different. We end up frustrating the natural unfolding of life. Buddhism teaches us to flow like water, adapting dynamically to our situation rather than forcing specific outcomes. Watch water flow down a canyon. It goes in the middle every time. The idea of effortless effort is a wonderful aspect of sky mind. When we are effortless, we are not lazy or dull. We are at our most productive. Chop a cord of wood with effortless chopping, and it will amaze you. The middle way is an invitation to let go of what we cannot control and give our heart's full attention to what is before us today, right now, in this moment. An artist does not think about how long it will take to become a master. They just remain focused, practicing the art of each brushstroke today. When we let go of forcing life into what I wants, when we focus on being one with the process of right now, we save ourselves the stress and suffering of expectation. Flowing with reality like Kannon Bodhisattva is, paradoxically, not easy. I know this firsthand, as you all do too. When we deal with jobs or relationships, we tend to jump to conclusions and expect certain kinds of results, and rather than keeping our attention here and now in this wonderful moment. Instead of thinking about the massive pile of potatoes you have to peel, focus on the potato in your hand. When you're through peeling it, put it aside, put it out of your mind, and then move on to the next one, and the next. Eventually, no potatoes will remain. By breaking down imaginary grand tasks into actual bits that must be done now, tasks are done one at a time. They are not only manageable, but our care and attention to detail will increase. Quality of life will increase. This is a basic example of middle way in action, and we can apply it to all situations in our lives. A return to the patience of simple living. That is what the Bodhisattva Kannon recommends to Shariputra in the sutra. So now we will offer you a even more concise rendering, again, beatnik, of the sutra. So Jimmy and Will, if you could prepare. Will start with a bongo intro.
Emptiness. It's sky. Nothing permanent, mingled essence, everything interwoven. Skandhas, empty too. No suffering, cause, end, or path. Four truths empty. No attainment. Let go. Everyone enlightenment.
Thank you. Thank you. This was all in the sutra. This was all the big lead up to Kanon's answer to Shariputra's question. How can we practice the insight that leads to the other shore? And Kanon advises, say the mantra, Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. Gone, gone, gone all the way, everyone gone to the other shore. Enlightenment. Huzzah! The Heart Sutra is a brief glimpse of Bodhi, of enlightenment, of that sky mind. While we are intrigued by it, we don't have to understand it today. Enlightenment, the pure sky mind will come. On that day, we will understand. And that's okay. Amida Buddha's wisdom filters into us subtly over time, and that's just fine. For now, we are okay, just as we are. Ultimately, those who have gone beyond feel great compassion welling up. And now we'll all share that compassion. Please say after me. May you be happy. May you be free from harm. May you receive boundless compassion. And may peace and harmony fill your heart. Namo Nams. Namo Nams. Namo Nams. Thank you. At this point in our service, we usually stand and sing our Reno Buddhist Center theme song. It's on page 49 of the service book. I have not committed it to memory. Please be seated. I seem to be without the order of service. Ruth, dear Ruth, is handing me. Oh, it's not a race. Thank you. It has the announcements on it, and if I forget one, that's not so helpful. I might have mentioned, but we are building a new meditation hall together. There's a poster there that shows the little meditation cushion stack growing, and we're working on that. So please understand that we need your help to do that. But donations is basically what we need. You can do that donation on GoFundMe if you look up Let's Build a Meditation Hall Together or something like that. We also accept Venmo, checks, even buckets of cash are fine. Just bring them to the temple. So our goal is $100,000. Boy, I really don't enjoy asking for money. It's so hard. Everybody values what we do here. We all contributed to support Matsunaga's initial, movement into this place, and so we continue that spirit. Even more important than that though, is that we have tea and treats downstairs, either through this door or you can circle around the outside and come down to the Haroma Hall. There will be a newcomers circle there. We can ask questions and share insights and puzzles, and that will be most wonderful. There are other announcements here, and I refer you to those. Also, you might note that there is a calendar on the back of the order of service, so that's also useful. Thank you all very much. Vámonos, vámonos, vámonos. Family, great.
Hey, Dennis. Did it work? Yeah, it worked pretty well. Yeah. True. Thank you. Hi, Robert. How are you?